Okay, so I wasn't sure if I was going to record this because it's really, really late. I pulled about 6.5 hours of overtime at work. Um, there was sort of a request to assemble some boxes for some of the kits we make, and I had to sort of, step out from my class, had my quiz. Talk about that in a moment, but and the person I would have been working with, I guess she had to leave early, relatively early. I mean, maybe an hour earlier than usual. Because she also has a class. So um, I just went back and basically assembled all this stuff myself because they got some builds tomorrow and they need those boxes. So I went off the schedule. Hope I made it the right number of boxes, and if I made too many, then okay, there'd be a few extra. If I made too few, well, maybe I'll have to assemble a handful more tomorrow. But I believe I counted them all correctly. I'm hoping I use the right channel on our Slack to notify the right people. I mean, it'd be annoying if I had to hear like, oh, that was the wrong channel. Why'd you put that on there? Blah blah blah. But I did what I thought was requisite for that. And since I was there all on my own, it kind of took twice as long as it would have if I'd had someone to work with. But I'm not angry about that. I mean, she had to go to her class and I had to go to mine, so I mean, it's something personal. People got their things to do, and besides, like, I mean, we're all trying to get somewhere, this is sort of like a stepping stone, a stop off, so to speak, an oasis in the desert, so to speak, before, you get all sort of ready to go and continue on your journey. So anyways, other than that, I guess the only thing I would really want to talk about, that's not like health related or anything like that, would be my quiz. And if I'm being honest, like I was not as prepared as I should have been. I honestly I wasn't really sure what the quiz was going to be like per se. Never had this professor anymore. Never really got any details on this class per se. I mean, I kind of knew what it was about, but there was, I mean, not to make excuses, but there was this stuff that's happened over the last like week and a half with my dad. But even with that stuff taken out of the picture, honestly, I probably could have prepared better. Uh, like how well I did last semester, like, that was an example of me actually doing my due diligence and being on top of things. I think maybe I took things a little more seriously than I have, up to this point. Um, Luckily, and this really isn't another excuse to sort of like let go or so. But luckily, there's 4 quizzes, and each of them is only worth like 5% of the grade. Um, I I I did get, I believe I got the first part right. The other two, hoping for partial credit. Then there was points for putting your name and your ID and um, like organizing it and that sort of deal. But it's sort of a wake up call. And that sort of pursuit of excellence, like it's a process that it's a process that you have to continue to do repeatedly. You can't like slack off on it at all. People call it the grind for a reason. They call it the slog. They call it, sort of like they say, it's a marathon, not a race. And that's because you kind of have to establish a pace and keep at it and keep cultivating, your habits that would lead to excellent results. And as such, it's kind of like just because I did well last semester doesn't mean I get to slack off this semester, that sort of thing. I'll have to step it up. Not sure what form that'll take because you see, like I have to allocate my time and my energy, properly. I found that like for instance, if I, and other things like what I'm eating and drinking, like it comes to caffeine consumption. Um, I found like definitely like if I have my last cup of coffee, let's say around noon, then by the time I'm usually home, I'm able to go to sleep relatively easily. which means I'll get a good night's rest, and then the next day I'll be charged up, ready to go. Whereas in the past, doing things the way I was doing them, I would get to the afternoon or evening, and it would just be like really, really difficult to get any work done. Wanting to watch videos on YouTube, just get distracted essentially, and what energy I would have would end up getting wasted because if I had like 4 or 5 hours free in the afternoon or so, like that's time that I could really get stuff done. I could really get all this extra studying done, extra work done, and end up finishing up with a higher level of preparation than I had today. But it's one of those situations where, like with the quiz, where like let's say the first 2/3 or so, it was kind of like me sort of stressing out a bit, going like, oh, this problem isn't so simple. Why isn't this, how am I supposed to find this with these two pieces of information? But then when I got towards the end, it's almost like I was just like, okay, just start writing stuff down, try to figure stuff out. And I sort of started, understanding the problem, and I wrote down whatever I could and I submitted it. But, I think for one thing, I also kind of made the problems that I was given out to be like way more complicated than they actually were, which that turned out they were all kind of interrelated. So there are pieces of information spread out through all of them that I could have used for different parts. But yeah, like I said, not to belabor the point, not to drag this video out, but it's gonna be a wake up call for me. I lose a few percentage points off my grade, but I gotta tighten up, and like when it comes to other problems that he gives us in class activities and such, that as it turned out really look a lot like the quiz problems. I need to start taking the initiative on that because I'm in a group, and there's been this other guy taking the initiative and doing the problem solving, and then going ahead and submitting the solution. And then the rest of the time has been, basically like us like commenting on other posts for points. But I'm pretty sure that guy's got better handle on the material than I do, because he's actually been going and just, knocking those problems out himself. And usually when the quiz rolls around or the exam rolls around, like he's, that much better prepared. So, and good for him. However, I need to be doing that stuff myself. So as well, whether I do it, for the group, I sort of take charge, or I just go and do that, myself, just for the sake of studying. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. This is not the midterm, thankfully. It's not even like most of the grade for the class, but just gotta take note, and I gotta get back on that. And I think to that end, for instance, another thing I need to be doing, this is sort of a mindset change. I don't need to be expending myself in 16 different directions. It's like, okay, I'll continue to pay off my debts. I'll continue to work, whether it's at this place or at the other place, option position. I'll continue to work and take care of that. That's a separate aspect of life. But when it comes to like education and skill set expansion and such, like right now, this is not like sort of the vacation time where it's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go and work on or grind out some knowledge expansion, so to speak, with regards to robot programming. I'm gonna instead make the way I'm expanding myself career-wise, knowledge-based wise, qualifications-wise, my class. And then, the next class and the next class and the next class until I, get into graduate school and then get that master's degree and that sort of thing. I can't be spread myself out so thin, and yeah. So that's pretty much it. I don't know if I paused for a bit, but I was kind of looking up there, and there were like 5 or 6 cop cars just kind of rolled into the road, and took off down that way. I don't know. It's kind of neighborhood can kind of be a bit sketch. I know there's a house that's like it's at the corner of, should I put it, like there's my house, and then it's sort of like there's the house in the corner, and then across from that, it's this house where, I mean, I swear the cops have like raided it like 5 or 6 times, and it's been like, you wake up in the middle of the night, you hear like the, you know, cop chopper, um, police helicopter, overhead. I don't know why I'm laughing. I think it reminded of something I saw on a podcast where a guy said that, and they kind of made fun of him for saying the cop chopper. But um, yeah, you hear like the helicopter, the sound that it makes, and then obviously the police on their speaker. It's just a police department. Come out with your hands up or whatever, and you wake up and you kind of listen for a bit, and they name the person, like, so and so, we know you're in there, come out with your hands up, and then you're like, wait, hold on, is that my name? No, it's not my name. And you go back to sleep. But apparently, I guess this neighborhood is kind of sketch. I mean, I've noticed some things obviously over the years, but like, I don't know, like, maybe, well, I mean, I've had some incidents. I could probably talk about another video, but, dealing with crazy people and crackheads and all that, which, I suppose if there's crackheads in your neighborhood, you're probably not in a good neighborhood. And there's homeless people wandering around talking to themselves, that sort of deal, or moving their carts back and forth, the little shopping carts they have that, they put all their possessions in. I guess you're probably not in a good neighborhood, but I guess because, I don't know, I've sort of applied to what little street smarts I've gained over the years, especially after that incident where I was robbed at gunpoint back in Florida. And the fact that I don't know, I just haven't had any, not in a while at least, any sort of threatening situations. Maybe I've just kind of zonked out to it, and I'm so focused on, like, getting the heck out of here insofar as getting my finances straight, getting my education to the next level. And it's sort of like, maybe I don't know if I've mentioned this video or any of these other videos, but I sort of talked about my mindset, but it's sort of like, it's sort of timeline wise, it's kind of like, okay, I get that master's degree next few years, get myself out of debt, get enough money stashed away, blah, blah, blah. I'll just get out of this area. I mean, not even just this city, but, and not even just this part of the state, but like the state entirely. And I'd probably move to some other place, with, cost of living that's like a fraction of what it is over here and all of that, But, no, man, there's some homeless person over. I think that person might be homeless. I mean, it's kind of a coin toss in this area, but it's about 11:30 or so, and I'm gonna have to get out of the car, grab my bag, and like I get on home and just be watching my back. It's not just the homeless people or the crackheads or the criminals who could try and rob you. It's the fact that if you live in a neighborhood where there are cops showing up, in force like that, I mean, for them, I suppose it's kind of like, I don't know, leaving the base and going off on some patrol in, quote unquote, one of those parts of the city or town or whatever they're in, and they're all like, on edge, like looking left, looking right, looking forward, looking backwards, kind of like, maybe something similar to the mentality of someone who's like, like I said, in the military, and they're on deployment, and they're platoon, just got assigned to some certain, hotspot area, and, their squads have all formed up, and they're going out there to establish their observation, station, or their, forward operating base or whatever, and, they're all like on edge like that because, oh, there's all these attacks in this area, and it's a bad area, and, then establishing their base, then they got to go out on patrol even further, and they're in that sort of mindset, sort of thing. And if you're dealing with police in, an area like this who are in that state of mind, I mean, you could just be, I mean, with the way I'm dressed, all this sort of stuff, I don't think I look like a criminal, but, it kind of just makes you sort of, you guys think twice, and you got to be cognizant so that you can just, and it sucks for it to be like this, that I have to be cognizant of all this stuff just so I can walk from my car to my house. But it's the middle of the night in a sketchy neighborhood, and that's just kind of how it is. So anyways, that's all I really have to say at this point. I'll upload it, and then I gotta just I gotta knock out. I was gonna go take a shower, but it's too late for that. There's like curfew stuff. Unless I really, really, really feel the need to just do like a wash myself up or so, because um I don't know, wouldn't feel right just dropping into bed. But I did that last night. But then again, last night I was just super tired. So maybe in the morning, we'll see. But anyways, see you folks around. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video. Unless something really screwed up happens, which I'm trying to be aware of my environment enough that doesn't go down. But all else being equal, best of whatever. Yeah, all else being equal, everything goes according to plan. I'll see you guys in another video. So, see you folks around. Thanks for watching, and bye.